What is going on, everybody? Art Eddie here for another sports show here on our Facebook page at Life of Dad. Of course, with me is my co-host, John Finkel. What's up, man?
Hello, everybody. It's been a while, but we are happy to be back.
Yes, it has been a while. We just obviously with the holidays, and then you actually had some very cool things happen to you. You were in Madison Square Garden, obviously the mecca of basketball. We're going to talk about that in a second, but let us know where you're watching from. Let us know, what your thoughts in on this. We were going to try and do this topic closer to New Year's. It's families' fitness goals or resolutions. Do you have any? And if so, we'd love to share. And even if it was in the past where you and your family started doing stuff, please let us know how it's been working and what are you doing to get your kids active as well as yourself if you're kind of doing the New Year's resolution to get back in the gym. Not saying you have to, but even if you just have a routine or certain things that you're doing that you have been doing for a while, we'd love to hear that. Before we get into that topic, John, if people follow him on his and social media, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff, there was an awesome picture of you and Charlie Ward in Madison Square Garden signing some copies of your book, right?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. The Knicks, for growing up a Celtics fan, it's not as if I had some massive love for the Knicks as players or anything, but I grew up went to high school in New Jersey, and all my friends were Knicks fans, and so we went to a lot of games at Madison Square Garden, and so to kind of come full circle all these years later and have a book signing there with one of the Knicks players. The Knicks organization was just super cool, man. I say they treated me like one of the players' moms because we actually were in the group of the players' moms when we got in. So we got in there and waited, and I got to have a good friend of mine, Sean, who was actually my roommate in college, who still lives in Jersey, who's like the biggest Knicks fan I know, come along with me. So he came with me. We got passes for the shoot around, and that was really cool. And then the signing itself, they had an hour before the game, half hour at halftime, which ended up going almost through the whole third quarter. They had a big thing on the Jumbotron at Madison Square Garden for the book and Charlie and everything, the book cover. So it was easily one of the cooler career nights I've ever had, for sure.
Nice, man. And people, make sure you follow him on social media. Where can people find you, man?
At John_Finkel across all of them, and then johnfinkel.com for brilliant blog posts and things like that.
And you can find some great fatherhood posts by John. The latest one he had was talking about how movie theaters can kind of take a clue from Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. Check out lifeofdad.com.
Yes.
Definitely highlighted on the main page because he writes great stuff. Juan was saying that he's from Waco, Texas, but he's a diehard Bulls fan. We got Benjamin watching from
Nigeria. Wow.
Nigeria. Yeah. Sweet. I was trying to get the first thing done, but you did the smart move. You're like, yeah, it's Nigeria. There you go. We have Grant checking in from the UK.
Thanks, Benjamin.
He's got fitness goals, lose fat, tone up. Both my boys do karate and recently got their orange belts. Congratulations to them. And both of my boys come to the gym with me every so often. Yesterday, my eldest did his first full rope climb. So very proud. Nice. Thanks for sharing that. And our good friend Daryl Humphrey, he says, dang it, I hate working out, but I worked out today on the elliptical, and now my kids are taking turns. You're setting examples. They learn by what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's it. You got to set the example. I mean, the kids will figure out what they want to do. We have the same thing with like a spin bike in the house. The kids just kind of try to hop on it and do stuff. But, yeah, that's just as long as they see half of it, I think.
Yeah.
Go Wolfpack. All right.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good in the college basketball right now. Susie says, hi from the UK, going walking and playing outside, especially loving playing out in the mud. Nice. Hey, as long as you're getting active. Right now for us in North Carolina, it snowed, so everything's shut down. It's kind of like, it's like New England, not New England, but like New Jersey, New York type of snow. We had like 6 or 7 inches. School's been closed for this whole week. Haven't had a chance to go to the gym, but they've been like playing like the Nintendo Wii U, like the active ones, like Just Dance and other stuff to keep them active. I'm like, all right, cool. And then yesterday we're out and getting some exercise. So at least they're doing something, especially when you're kind of cooped up in the house,
Oh, yeah. Well, I think one of the things, too, when it comes to, like, we were talking, to go back to the resolutions and stuff, especially at this time of year, one of the things is really starting with the food, diet, like all that kind of stuff, even with little kids. Like, it's so easy especially when it's cold in most of the country, but also you have the holidays and everything. You have cookies around. You have people sending food, desserts, leftovers and stuff that you just start kind of making treats and making things kind of part of your regular every day. And after every dinner, it's, we still have those cookies from so-and-so, or, we still have that cake from that. And it's like you're pulling stuff out of the freezer and heating it up. And I think you got to kind of take that stance of like, all right, now we're back to real life, as you say, and it's, we're not having whipped cream on our waffles every morning just because it's home, we're home for a week during vacation and stuff like that. So I think the nutrition part of it is probably, it is as important as any kind of activity you're going to do.
Nice, man. Well said. And Tamara says, lots of snow in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have the kids go out and shovel driveways. There you go. I actually had a kid come in and be like, hey, shovel for $20. I'm like, no, my kids and I will handle it.
Yeah, I used to do that once I got to high school. We used to do the charge. I mean, we eventually the driveways were done by a plow, but like you'd ask to do, I'll do your front walk, and if you have a dog, like a back area for you for $10, something like that.
Nice, man, love it. Entrepreneur from the beginning. I love it.
Yeah.
Andrew says, active runner and weight trainer, but my son was born in October 2017. I've been so tired from work and being a new father that I haven't worked out anywhere near what I used to be, and it's been stressing me out. That is huge, because you got a new transition in life, a happy transition, but it's very time consuming, especially for new parents, especially new dads. You're kind of getting to that new routine. It gets better, trust me. Talk to your spouse about trying to get a routine where you're working out, and once you get a routine that you're working out in, the stress level will become down because you're actually feeling good about yourself.
Andrew, there's this brilliant book called The Dadvantage, which deals with the first 6 months or so after having a baby and how to stay in shape. And I know the author personally.
Me too.
And, it's directly about what you're talking about. It's finding what I call little micro workouts throughout your day, so that by the end of the day, maybe you're getting 15, 20, 25 minutes of exercise in, but you're not having to block it all out. And then the second thing that I would highly recommend, especially once you're kind of past the kids sleeping at night, is just force yourself to get up earlier in the morning and do it first thing, so that it's not hanging over you at lunch or hanging over you at night. That is the number one piece of advice that I always give. And you can't do it in the first 3 or 4 months because you're just a mess. But once there's a regular sleeping routine, get up at 5 or 5:30 and make it happen.
And use the hashtag sweat before 6.
Yes.
Like my boy over here.
That's right. It's a movement. We're all doing it. All the cool kids are doing it.
Nice. Someone said recently, Tamara said no soda ever. That's great. Roy says my 2-year-old is going to try skating today and sledding and being outside after like a 49-degree cold snap. So obviously they're in Canada. You can see by their little.
Is that summer in Canada, or that's
Marta says we go outside and play every day since left the hospital, no exception. All right,
good.
I'm gonna fit this whole pizza in my mouth.
There you go. Well, that's also, you guys have time for that as well.
While in New York City over over Christmas, saw lots of baby strolling, bundle them up and get out. There you go. So I mean,
yeah, I saw when I was there. I was actually, you did grow up in the Northeast, and people don't just stay inside all the time. But I was pleasantly surprised by how many people just threw like a entire comforter on top of the stroller and just had the kid outside getting some air. So yeah, people got to get through it.
Nice. Question over here. When shall we start swimming practice for the baby? I have a newborn. Thinking about sending her around like 6 months. Is that good? Again, we're not. Yeah.
So there's a million different schools of thought on this, getting the kid used to the water and going once a week. I will probably, I don't think I'll take any heat because whatever, but like, man, if you can as an adult stand being in the water for one of those half-hour classes where you're singing all the weird songs and you're doing the splashing, then more power to you. I literally hated every second of it, and I swam throughout high school. I was an all-state swimmer. I love swimming. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. The only thing my wife and I probably argued about was who had to actually be in the water for these things. That we finally both agreed that they're nauseating. The water's warm or filled with pee, and the kids are barely paying attention. And then they figure out how to swim anyway. So as early as you want, or as late as you want, or as never, just make sure they learn how to swim at a pretty early age.
Yes, well said. Yeah, give them the basics of learning them how to swim. Our good buddy over here, one of the co-founders at Life of Dad, he wrote an excellent piece at Life of Dad. He was a lifeguard, so he kind of understood, the idea of trying to get them, just knowing how to swim, because that's a life-saving teaching right there. So yeah, Samira's like, don't rush that pool, baby.
Yeah, just let them in there. The funny thing is, the best example I can use is my son, who we had in lessons forever, just like plateaued for months. We just kept debating, what is he even doing there? And all it took was like the summer to come and him being in the water like almost every other day with people who swam to learn how to swim. So as long as you're encouraging them how to do it, and if they need help, maybe coaching or you showing them how to do it. But I don't really know if you get anything out of the 6 month, 1 year, year and a half splash around, sing, ring around the rosy in the water thing. I think it's kind of a racket, personally.
No, to get you for next Christmas, man. I'm gonna get you a song of songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Carlos says worked out constantly before kids, after not so much. Just got back into it. Nice job, Carlos. And he was just saying that during the week, wake up at 4.
That's it, Carlos. That's what you got to do. Get outside at 5. Get it done by 6. Your whole day is better. And you sleep like a baby, by the way. Like, people always ask, like, how do you do it? How do you get up? First of all, my bedtime from used to be around 11:30 is now pretty much a hard 10, no matter what I think or want to do. And sometimes at sporting events, it kind of sucks. But, like, I sleep like a rock from 10 to 5. My alarm goes off at like 5:05 or something every day. So it makes you sleep better too, because you're exhausted by the time nighttime comes.
Nice. Enrique says, yes, we all run. My kids are my motivation. The family that run together lives longer together. Like that. Nice. Nice job.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Andrew appreciated the advice right there. For us, every New Year's, we kind of like, my wife, my kids, and I, we kind of on New Year's Eve, we just kind of sit around the table and put in things we want to do. And one of the things is like, probably typical, like eat healthy and all this stuff. But we were saying like, kind of like your adage of, we've talked about this before about like, eating right and all that stuff. You only have like, dessert on Fridays. Like that's it. And we've kind of adopted that too. But we also said like, instead of going out all the time, like if we want to go to our favorite ice cream shop, all 4 of us have to go at least five times a month to our local Y, our gym. As a family. We try and do that like Saturday and Sunday and all that stuff to get motivated. Yeah. So we're doing pretty good. Obviously, it's only the first month of the year, but we're all motivated. Next, tomorrow we're doing that while the kids have kind of been out and the gym has been open. We've been going there as a family. We've been, taking turns. Like my wife and I would be in the gym playing, we'd ask them to lower the basketball to like 8 feet. The kids would be shooting. We'd be playing some basketball. And then we'd be playing like.
Don't leave out the you dunking part on the 8-foot thing. Don't skip over that. The windmills on the 8-foot hoop are the only reason that you're really asking to do that. Don't put it on the kids.
True. But then we also play like different games that they would learn that they played in like gym class. Like I think it's like line tag, because on the gym floor on a basketball court they have all the lines where you have to like stay on the line and run. And as stupid as it sounds, or like why would I want to do that? It's great because you're almost like doing. I used to call them like suicides when I was on the basketball team. We were running back and touching one part of the court and going back and keep on doing that. And when we so for us doing that. And it's just fun because like we like ran for like 30 minutes in the gym. And it's like, if your kids don't think about the exercise, and especially you two, like parents, it goes by really quick. And you're like, we're both like, all of us were just like sweating. So it's good just to get out there with it is, I think Enrique said they run together and they're going to live longer together because they're taking care of themselves. So I like it.
Yeah, I saw a game. So at the end of every, I know we've talked about my daughter does jiu-jitsu. At the end of every game, if the kids all listen and do well, at the end of every practice, they do like a 5-minute game. And they're all the simplest games ever. And the one they did the other night was it was like, I thought of it. I thought this is one of the easiest games you could ever do with a group of kids or even just 4 people. All they do is they take 2 socks and they tuck them into the back of their geese. You can put it in the back of your shorts. And 2 people stand on one side of a line and 2 people stand on the other. And all it is the 2 people who don't have socks have to try to get them. And I was watching, and this class was like 20, so it was like 8 kids had the socks and everybody's had to get them. And it lasts like 20 minutes of kids juking each other and running around. And all it was get the sock and you win. And it was like no equipment necessary, the simplest thing ever. So I agree with you. Sometimes those games they come up and the kids were getting super competitive and they were, flag football and making moves to get the socks out of there. So it was really cool.
Like Barry Sanders not getting the socks taken out. I like that.
Well, then you get the one kid who obviously like ties the sock and and you're like, wait a minute. All right. So there's always cheaters.
Sockgate.
Yeah, sockgate. The kids are like yanking on the sock as hard as they can. And this like 11-year-old is like, oh, you didn't get it. And finally one of the coaches is like, did you tie it like really hard? He's like, yeah. Well, that's not how it works. Sure.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, there's another game you can play, especially in the house too. Like if you move kind of the couches and all that, if you're kind of snowed in, whatever the case may be, there you go. Tomorrow, good on you. 60 years old, and with the exception of the snow recently, ride my bike every day until dusk. Awesome. Recovering from meniscus surgery, got to push on. And that's the thing. Like if you kind of get that routine down, I think all of us are creatures of habit. Once you kind of get that, you're able to start getting that routine. guess what? The little eyes are looking at you, and they'll like form their habits by watching you. So it's
I used to write when I was writing for years ago for like Muscle Fitness, all those. I used to say that we could easily put ourselves out of business if we just wrote on the cover of every magazine, eat right, exercise regularly, make those two things a habit, and just keep putting them out over and over. You don't everything else is just kind of fluff.
Sergio says I started riding road and mountain bikes competitively. So for this year, I brought my 2 kids and their mother with their bicycles. We taught my daughter how to ride, and so we can all go rides together. Another great article by this boy over here about training wheels and all that other good stuff. So make sure you check that out as well. This is like the
just keep promoting me. What else do we want to talk about? I got all kinds of books. What do you need?
The full circle of like all of your stuff, but it's true, man. You got sports, you got stuff about family and the dad man. It's great, man. We stop at the park and we jog so my son can play about for 15 minutes. Then we take him out on the stroller for a half mile before the park. We tell him everyone runs, even him, especially if he wants to play.
I mean, make him push the stroller too. Let's really push this kid. I'm just kidding, fantastic.
Yeah, so great advice from everybody. Appreciate you chiming in. We're going to be closing the show in about a few minutes. So I thought, obviously, with the NFL weekend coming up, 2 great games, AFC Championship, NFC Championship. I think we all know who you're pulling for, obviously the Patriots. I mean, you don't see – there were reports with was like Brady having an issue on his throwing hand.
Yeah, he hit.
Belichick's like, we're good. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I almost think that's like the Patriots kind of like – because the Jacksonville defense is kind of scary, but they're like, hey, man, if we kind of give the idea that like something's up with Brady's arm, like, throwing hand, maybe it'll like give them a false sense of security. Possibly.
Yeah. It was one of those things where, your first reports come out and you never know if they're accurate or not. Now he's practicing. And I think Belichick's response was like, it's Friday. That was about all he said. So it's like, if he's assuming Brady's healthy, again, I think you and I might have been talking off the air, but like, I could see, I could talk myself into scenarios where it's a super tight game and maybe the Pats lose. I don't know. One day they will. One day they're going to have that crazy upset. But I also feel like 42-10 is also very possible, Pats winning.
Yeah. And then who do you got, Vikings or Eagles?
Man, I want the Viking. I don't know why. I've never really liked Philly. I mean, in terms of the Eagles, I have a lot of friends who are Eagles fans who we heard all about when we beat McNabb and that whole thing. And it's like, I'm okay with them, but I think Minnesota's a cooler story. And, it's so miserably cold up there. They need something. I don't mind having them win something and be enjoying themselves for a while. Plus, Case Keenum's story is ridiculous. I mean, that guy's been cut everywhere. And to be able to maybe win a Super Bowl, that'd be awesome.
Nice. I think I might be frozen. I don't know. So we'll kind of end it up. But here's a fun fact for the Super Bowl: if the Vikings do win, they will become the home team. But this Super Bowl, the AFC has the rights to the home team. So if they just like, all right. So if like the Patriots, Jacksonville, whoever shows up there, and it's the Eagles, then the Eagles will have to play in the Minnesota College, training facility and all that stuff, getting ready for the Super Bowl. But if it's the Vikings, they'll stay in the home, which I think is kind of nice, right? You got to let them do that.
Yeah, it never happens, and they've been dying for this. It's a brand new stadium that they wanted, and the old stadium I went to, it's a mess. And like I said, it's like minus 19 degrees out there. So let them go into the tunnels underground and get in there and enjoy it. And like I said, if they end up getting the Super Bowl, there's no better team they can lose to than the Patriots. So I'm all for that.
Nice. Well, John and I appreciate you guys checking out the show. Have a great weekend. Get out there, be active with your kids, find something to do, and keep us up to date on how your fitness goals are going for 2018.
Yep.
For John and myself, thanks again for watching the sports show, and we'll see y'all next week.